With us now live from San Francisco is Abigail Ducosnik, Associate Professor at the Berkeley Center for New Media at the University of California. Thank you, Abigail, for being with us.
Thank you.
So here is an example of Kamala Harris bratified, I think, on TikTok. Watch this.
360, when you're in the mirror, do you know what you see?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
And everywhere I'm so Julia.
You exist in the context.
666 with a princess streak. I'm everywhere, I'm so Julia.
Of all in which you live and what came before you. Didn't they go?
So explain what's actually happening here in terms of what would traditionally be seen as kind of negatives and now actually positives working in favor of the vice president, especially with younger voters. And for want of a better term, this has happened sort of organically. It's not sort of been planned. It's not astroturfed, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Charli XCX seeing an opportunity to elevate both herself and Kamala Harris's campaign at the same time on Sunday was tremendous. It was a tremendous gift for the Harris campaign. Charli XCX saying Kamala is BRAT on social media birthed, 10,000 TikTok videos seemingly almost instantly. And it is organic. It is coming from young Americans. And it definitely, Charli XCX's BRAT transforms this derogatory term BRAT into a positive. That means owning yourself, owning all the parts of you, including the ugly parts, the messy parts, the rude parts, but also, owning that means that if you're brave enough to admit that you're messy, then you are the leader, you are the fearless one, you are the person that can let the world see all of you, and that's what it means to be a BRAT girl. And for Kamala Harris to be called BRAT by Charli XCX means that that artist relates to this politician in a positive way and sees that fearlessness, that courageousness in this politician, and so do all of the TikTokers and social media influencers memeing Kamala as BRAT right now.
Put it all out there, the good, the bad, the ugly. So when Kamala Harris walked onto stage for her first campaign rally as the presumptive presidential nominee, she walked out to the sounds of Beyonce. Listen to this. Beyonce was quick to give approval for the song to be used for the rest of the campaign. That says a lot. Then there's the Trump campaign, which has received some kind of cease and desist order from Adele, Aerosmith, the Beatles, Elton John, Guns N' Roses, Phil Collins, the Rolling Stones, Prince, Leonard Cohen, Neil Young, Pavarotti, Nickelback, Ozzy Osbourne, Rihanna, Queen, the Village People, and a whole lot more. What does that say politically about these two candidates?
I think it's no secret that Hollywood and celebrity America tends to side Democrat. If you look at the celebrities who are on Kamala Harris's side right now, who have declared for her, Cardi B, Jessica Alba, Beyonce implicitly, Charli XCX, and on Trump's side, what celebrities does he have? He has Kid Rock, and he has Hulk Hogan. Both of whom were famous several decades ago. So Beyonce is obviously of the moment in every moment and has declared for the Democratic presidential nominee explicitly since 2016. And so it isn't too much of a surprise that Beyonce is allowing the Harris campaign to use her song, but it is an implicit endorsement. I expect an explicit endorsement from Beyonce soon.
Yeah, there's Scott Baio, who's on the Republican side, apparently.
That's right. Good point.
Donald Trump was once considered the king of social media. His 3 a.m. tweets would spark global reaction, but then he was banned. The Washington Post, though, has an analysis of how Trump primarily uses his own platform, Truth Social, at the moment. Now, it reports his following is diminished, but his posting has accelerated. He has traded combative tweets for even more belligerent screeds. Diatribes against his perceived enemies have drawn gag orders from judges in multiple cases. His media diet has become almost exclusively right-wing. Above all, he persists in spreading lies about his 2020 election loss, deep into his campaign for another term. So, if the king has fallen, has he been replaced by the meme queen for the Gen Z, Kamala Harris?
Donald Trump has an extraordinary fan base and mobilizes social media, and so do his followers, in a very powerful way. They mobilize on socials constantly, voluminously, and effectively. Within the fandom, people pick up on what Trump is saying and repeat it. So that's effective spread. That is real reach from a social media influencer. What is so great about Kamala Harris taking the place of Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee is that she is very memeable. TikTok was behind her well before she ascended to the nominee position. And finally, there is a feeling among, I think, American youth that we have an answer to the Donald Trump social media juggernaut. So the K-Hive, as it's called on social media, the Kamala Harris fandom, is really coming out strong for her and is able to push and spread and meme her messaging and messaging on her behalf just as far, with just as much reach as Donald Trump's fandom.
And
so
just very quickly.
Even now.
Yeah, we're almost out of time, so just very quickly, just compare this. It seems to be another stark contrast between Harris and Trump. His tweets are often negative and attacking. Hers just seem kind of positive and fun.
Absolutely. The Kamala Harris fandom is joyous. It has a positive spirit. And in that sense, it is very brat. That is the meaning of brat, and that's brat girl summer, is to come hard, come as yourself, and come out ahead.
Abigail DeCostic, I think you're brat. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
You're welcome.